What's up, y'all? I'm back. Um, I'm gonna try to do this a little more often. Um, can't make no promises because if you know, if you don't know, um, I'm in my last semester of my master's program, and I'm pretty busy, and besides trying to do other things, so I try to do this. I try to stay consistent. You know, to get the pace to grow, even though it's growing very slow. But I still enjoy doing this, and I like giving my perspective on things. So I'm gonna keep on giving it to you, and you know we'll see where it goes. But tonight I said I was gonna touch on R.Kelly again, and so I decided to touch on. I said I might touch on him, but I guess I decided to touch on him again because I keep seeing people post about him, and people making memes and jokes, and some people bringing up some good points. Um, like I said, I really don't like touching these subjects because a lot of people get in their feelings about it, and a lot of people believe what's presented to them. But then at the same time, I don't want to get into no kind of conspiracy theories or whatever. I just want to use a little bit of logic in this case, right? So I am in no way condoning any kind of um, predator acts or anything like that, right? Um, and I don't believe in looking for young women when you have women your age that's highly capable of doing the same freaking thing. I don't know what kind of sickness that is or whatever, but it is what it is. But the thing is, if R. Kelly did these things, all right, he get his just desserts. But the elephant in the room, there's a lot. In my opinion, there's a lot of elephants in the room. You know what I'm saying? But the elephant in the room is the fact that you know you're crucifying this man because he is a star. But what about the real R. Kellys out there, the ones that you actually know, your brothers, your uncles, your stepfathers? You know what I'm saying? Or what about them? Are you crucifying them the same way you crucifying R. Kelly? Are you talking, you know, you talk about not listening to his music anymore? Are you? I mean, anybody with a right mind, anybody who's able to be a critical thinker, anybody who's able to analyze can separate the two. It's like I said on one post, I can separate. I can listen to gangster rap and still not want to go out shooting nobody. So in the same sense, he can perform those acts, and I'll still sit and listen to his music because music is music. He's still a musical genius in my opinion, you know. But my main point is I believe he was railroaded just like Bill Cosby was railroaded. Why are these black men being used as examples of to put them through the ringer? You know, whatever he did. But let's talk about the parents. What were the parents doing that they allowed these girls to be up under his wing and go through this stuff? Like if he was supposedly holding these girls hostage and they couldn't even use the bathroom without his permission, like where was the parents? How they get permission? How did he have permission to have these girls for such a long period of time and be able to do that? And how is it that if they was able to go back home, because I still don't really know the details of the story. I mean the trial, because they really haven't put out details of the trial, to be honest, and they have not filmed it or anything like that. So a lot of things they tell you is you either believe it or you don't believe it. Because I mean, quite frankly, they can tell the media anything. But that goes into conspiracy thinking, right? But nonetheless, what about the parent? How was this able to be possible? And then how is it that this man was going across state lines looking for young ass women? And I saw somebody comment. Apparently, according to prosecution, he on one of the videos he's seen having sex with a 14-year-old and saying in the video, "I'm banging a 14-year-old." Like, I don't understand that. Even if that is the case, and I have to say if that is the case, because like I said, the trial was not televised, and all we can go by is what they leaked out to the media or whatever the case may be. We don't know what really went on in the trial, right? So if that is the case, if that is the case, then you know why would you be so dumb? You're a star. I mean, I don't care how much money you got, and I don't see how money makes you invincible. But you're a star. I mean, it's bad enough when you're a star, you taking a risk, having sex with any freaking female. You know, Females your age, you're still taking a risk because you don't know what their intention is. They might sit there and try to get pregnant by you so they can get a payout. They can have a cash cow, you know? So why would you even be stupid enough to film yourself and then mention the the girl's age in your video? That's just plain out stupid. But what really kills me is and what the shocking thing is, like they said, and I read something. They said um, R. Kelly was shocked by the verdict, and his lawyers were shocked by the verdict, and I guess rightfully so. But what I'm really shocked by is the racketeering, and somebody made a good point, but I still feel like racketeering. Are you serious? The only time you ever hear of racketeering is when it deals with mob bosses. They and every time I read something about this trial, they always depicted him as this ringleader of this crime syndicate. I'm like, this man is a R&B singer. A R&B singer. Yeah, is he sick for doing that, or is he a predator? I mean, but you put him as some kingpin or something. Like he runs the underworld or something. I just couldn't understand how they kept depicting him that way, and they really found him guilty of racketeering. Are you serious? Because he supposedly gathered up girls from state lines. I don't know how this even came about and how he had all these charges. The trial is finished in Brooklyn. He still has charges in Chicago. He still has charges in Minnesota, I believe. Like, how do you have charges in different cities, different states? I don't understand it. How he even have a case here in New York? I don't even understand that. But like I said, I would be lying if I said I knew the whole case and I really followed the case. I'm just gonna speak on what I feel about the case and what I know. So, you know, how is it that they get this man on racketeering? And then on top of that, not only do they always associate racketeering with mob bosses, usually when there's a racketeering case, they're not trial. Then they're not putting just one person on trial. So this is highly unusual. And the charges they really got him on wasn't him having sex with a minor or anything like that. It was on other things. It was on the racketeering. It was on 8 counts of the Mann Act, which is sex trafficking. But to my understanding, sex trafficking is gathering up females for the action of sex, and transporting them to different places so different men can have sex with them. That's that's my idea of sex trafficking. But hey, what do I know, right? But this is just plain out weird, you know? That they got him on all these counts, and he is not going to see the light of day for a bunch of females who are now grown and was handed over to him by their parents. It makes no sense to me. You get him on racketeering and paint him as some mob syndicate type person, but then you only indict him. I don't understand that. And not for nothing, and I might get a lot of flack for this, right? But but you know, having sex with a minor, I don't think deserves 10 years to life. But of course, they got him on other charges that equaled up to the 10 years to life sentence, right? But having sex with a minor shouldn't lead to that at all. And here's the reason why. Because yes, they're young. Yes, they're vulnerable. Yes, your grown ass has no business touching them because you have plenty of grown ass women you can touch, right? But they're still old enough to know what they're doing. It's not like they don't know what they're doing. They're still old enough to know what they're doing. And them same girls will sit there and have sex with guys their age or close to their age. What's the It's the same action. The only thing is it is all of now is all of a sudden taboo because the man is older, is much older. But I mean, if you want to get on some religious terms, they're still committing fornication either way, right? But I'm not saying either one is better than the other. I'm not saying that at all, and I'm not condoning going after little girls. I really, seriously, I had a dude that I met, and I came back up here to New York, and I was disgusted by him one day when he said what he said. He straight up said, if they're old enough to have sex, I'll have sex with them. If they have pubic hair down there, I have sex with them. I didn't even know how to even react to it at first. I damn near cursed him out. That was just plain sick, and I straight up told him because he has a daughter, and I straight up told him I was like, how would you feel if a dude felt that way towards your daughter? Like, are you serious? I don't remember what was his response to that, but I do remember asking him that. So don't get it. Definitely do not get it twisted that I'm condoning it and I feel it's all right. But at the same time, I feel like you throwing the book at him when there's other culprits involved, and these females, albeit that they're young, they're still old enough to know what they're doing. They're still cognizant of what they're doing. It's just because the Lord dictates that they're not old enough to make a conscious enough decision to have sex with an older man. But the funny part is, and it's not funny, in the literal sense, but the funny part is that although there is this lore, there are stars who are well known for being twice a female's age and having relationships with them. There's well-known cases of this. Like one of the one of the first ones that comes to mind to people's minds is Elvis. That's one of the first ones people come to mind. I believe Woody Allen. I believe Jerry Lewis. Um, um, I mean, actually, there's quite a few, and there's probably quite a few that we don't even know about. We don't even know about. R. Kelly is just being made an example of. They're making an example out of him, but he ain't the only. He ain't the first, and he ain't the only one to carry on the way he carried on. And like I said in my last video, the 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 premise, what set the precedent for him to get convicted on those charges, was the fact that everybody already knew he went through these measures to marry Aaliyah at 15 years old. So when you already have that under your belt, and everybody knows that, you already have that under your belt, and then he got acquitted of the pornography charges, but people still think that was him. They still think he's guilty. So you combine those things, and fast forward to now, where the Me Too movement has opened up doors to convict people like him. Now they throw the book at him. They get 50 witnesses, 50 females who was scared to talk years back. Now they have all this courage to talk, and they threw the book at him. Plus, not to mention, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I feel like he was convicted off of the court of opinion, which is contradictory of what the justice system is supposed to be. You're supposed to be proven guilty, and the prosecutor's job is to prove without a shadow of a doubt that a person is guilty. If they cannot prove without a shadow of a doubt that the person is guilty, you're supposed to acquit them. Even if you feel the person is guilty, if they prosecute, this is how it's supposed to work. And I learned this before, and I definitely learned this when I did jury duty, because this is exactly what they told me at jury duty. They said, if you feel the prosecution did not prove beyond the shadow of a doubt, it's the burden of the prosecution to prove without a shadow of a doubt that the person is guilty. If you do not feel they did that job, then you should acquit. Plain and simple. I would love to know, because I still haven't. I've seen vague articles on it. Would love to know what the prosecution presented to make the jury feel like R. Kelly was involved with racketeering in this case. What did they use to prove that R. Kelly was involved with sex trafficking in this case? I would just love to know what this is. I believe he was convicted of a court of public opinion, because now the Me Too movement is big, and there's a lot of people that believe in that Me Too movement. So if this man had got an acquittal, it would have been uproar, and they want to avoid that. So in order to avoid that, they find him guilty. And I guarantee you, if they didn't find him guilty here in this trial, when he starts the trial in Chicago, in Minnesota, whatever, they would have got him there. They would have made sure they got him in some kind of capacity, just off the court of public opinion. It's just like when OJ got off from murder. They made sure he lost the civil case. They made sure of that. Yeah, you got away with murder, but we not gonna let you slide with this next one. So I pretty much guarantee, if the results was different in this trial, they would have got him in the next trial or the trial after that. But at the end of the day, have that same the same energy. If you have energy for R. Kelly, present that same energy to anybody you might know that's in the same category. That's all I gotta say. You know, and you stop and listen to the music. What does that really do? I mean, it's your choice, whatever it is. But I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna listen to his music just because he got convicted. Also, keep in mind, and it's not saying that this is the case with this case, but also keep in mind, there's plenty of men who've been convicted of something that they didn't really do. There's been plenty of times where you witnesses have gotten on the stand and they was paid to lie or intimidated to lie or whatever the case may be. Don't think it could be any different for this. You know? I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, a lot of people might come with something different, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I don't blame you, but I'm just saying what I observe, and just what seems a little out of place for me. I mean, it doesn't matter either way. The verdict has already been made, and then he's gonna get his sentence in May 4th. I don't I don't understand the logic in that because the sentence was made in September. It takes you till next year to decide what sentence you want to give him. I don't understand how that works. But maybe they backed up in the court. Maybe there's a certain reason for it. Who knows? Maybe they want to give him time to appeal. I don't. Who knows? 9 times out of 10, he's going to try to appeal. But you know, whatever money he has left, them lawyers are draining the rest of it up. His money is drying up. Unless, because of this event, people start downloading his music even more, streaming his music even more, and he gets some dividends off of that. Who knows? It is what it is, right? But I can't, and I can't get with the Me Too movement for the simple fact that, and I understand you like to use the premise of, well, they didn't come out before because they were scared, they didn't want to be judged and da da da. So I'm like, okay, I get it, I get it, but what's the difference now? Why all of a sudden you got the courage? Why all of a sudden you're not worried about being judged? Because the Me Too movement. I feel like sometimes people do things out of straight convenience when it's right. Like a lot of people come out now is you know a lot of people come out, and a lot of rappers now want to be gay. You want to have gay characters in shows now, and so on and so forth, and more power to you. But I think a lot of it is because now it's the comfortable thing to do. It's the in thing to do. Before it wasn't. But now you have the LGBTQIA rights. So now I could do this and I could do that. Now it presents the Old Town Road guys. I'm not gonna mention his name, but of course you know who I'm talking about. It has him, and the main reason why I bring him up is because his antics is nothing but for shock value because he doesn't have no real talent. So he needs shock value to keep himself relevant. Because you have dozens of gay guys that's in the music industry and they well known for being gay, and they still didn't resort to what he resorts to. Elton John has always been known to be gay. George Michael came out to be gay. Boy George has always been known to be gay. And you know, and the list goes on. None of them, they might have, you know, put extravagant colors in their hair. They might have put on, these exotic outfits and things like that. But you even have straight guys that do that. You have straight women that do that. So that's not a depiction of gay. You know, they don't have to be. They never felt they had to be like, oh, look at me, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. Look at me, look at me, I'm gay and I'm proud. They didn't have to do that. They let their music talk for them. And guess what? I just happen to be gay. Listen to my music, enjoy my music. Okay, guess what? I happen to be gay. But with this old town road guy, he has to push the envelope every single time. He knows people don't like him, so what he do? He tongue kisses a guy on the BET Awards. They sit there and talk about that and don't like that. What does he do? He puts out a video where he's dancing butt naked. They talk about that. They don't like that. What does he do? He posts a picture of him being pregnant. They talk about that. They don't like that. What does he do? He posts something of him giving birth. All he does is does stuff for shock value. That's all he does. Because, I mean, you may like him, but I haven't heard nothing from him that really appealed to me. That's just it, But of course, some people hear me and they might say, "Yo, you're homophobic." I hate that. I hate that freaking word, especially for the fact that they just throw it out there. Any anything you say against gays, and you might not even really be bashing gays, but automatically you're homophobic. That is just the dumbest assessment to me, because I don't like a certain thing, and that thing I don't like is against someone who happens to be gay. I'm homophobic. Like I saw a post, right? And I know I'm going on a tangent, but I saw a post, right? And it was on him. It was on him, but I particularly commented on this one comment where they 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 said something stupid like all these all these haters are 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 hating and coming out of their roach infested apartments. And all I simply said was, did it hurt your brain, your one brain cell, to come up with that lame joke or whatever? They responded back saying, what did they say? Um, I don't know. They said something about being homophobic or whatever. Um, No, no. They looked at my This is another thing that kills me. And there's another thing that kills me is when I say something and they don't like it, and the first thing they do is go to my profile to find something to diss me about. I mean, like, where's your maturity level at? Really, seriously, where's your maturity level at? But I mean, and granted, sometimes when I troll, I mean, trolling is a sense of, a little bit immature, but sometimes I like to have fun. Social media is fun to me. You know what I mean? So sometimes I do troll. I'm gonna lie. Sometimes I do comment just for the heck of it, right? So yeah, she went on my program, or he or whoever it was, whatever they identify as, because anyway, um, they went on my profile, and on my Instagram profile, I talk about, speaking up for justice or whatever I say. I don't even remember what I put on my profile, to be honest. Um, and they mocked that or whatever, and I said, "What are you, like, 12?" And then they answered and they said, "I'm old enough to know not to not to care about a person's sexual preference." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Nowhere in my comments did I mention anything about. I didn't even mention his name, nor did I mention anything about his sexual preference. Then they sit there and say, they want to be a smartass, and want to try to call me slow or whatever, talking about, uh well, you're commenting on a gay man's post, and I made a comment about haters, so it's only natural, I believe, that you're homophobic, or whatever they said. I can't remember verbatim. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? I was like, first of all, for you to even imply that I'm being homophobic, it would require me to actually have said something about him and said something about his sexual preference, which I did not do. So that makes you the slow one, not me. Get some comprehension skills, and learn how to tell, read context. Learn how to analyze context, or recognize context. Like, I don't understand. Like, how you slow and you want to call somebody else slow? Yeah, everybody has their slow. I might have my slow moments, but I think the fact that I'm able to perform on a grad levels says, it does kind of say that I'm not slow. It does kind of say I do have some kind of intelligence. So, I might not be a genius, but I damn sure ain't slow. You sound like the slow one. In fact, most of y'all be sounding like the slow one, because y'all be saying some of the dumbest shit. And y'all reasoning for the way y'all think is dumb as hell as sometimes. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around how you identify as a they. Last time I checked, they is an adjective for multiple people. So what are you saying? You're multiple people. You're not just one person. That sounds like some kind of psychosis. It sounds like you have mental issues. That's why some people say people that are gay, that they need mental help or something. Don't you know don't don't come at me. Don't come at me. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying what other people say. But I don't understand. That makes absolutely no sense how one person identifies as a they. That how you identify as binary. The first time I saw it, I was like, "What? What? That's binary? You identify as binary. So what you consider a heterosexual analog?" I mean, last time I checked, binary was digital. I mean, I come from an electronic world. I mean, I took up electronic technology. So in my world, when I hear binary, I'm thinking digital. You got binary, you got analog. How is a person binary? It is what it is. And then, pansexual. That to me is just plain disgusting. And that's just my opinion, but it's plain disgusting because, and I mean, from what I understand about it, It means that you literally fuck anybody. Anybody. You will fuck a woman. You will fuck a dude. You will fuck a tranny. You'll fuck anybody. But anyway, just food for thought. Food for thought. I feel like, R. Kelly got railroaded just like Bill Cosby did. And getting back to my point, because I think I went off on a tangent. I was getting to the point, but I went off into something else. But getting to my point, I can't get with the Me Too thing because of the simple fact that, you know, people are getting convicted off of charges that was allegedly done to somebody decades ago. Decades ago. So you're bringing them up on these charges, for women who are 10, 15, 20 years older. I just can't really get with that. And I think I read somewhere where they said something about they had receipts and paper trails showing that R. Kelly did this and did that. And I'm like, how does that? That doesn't even sound right. Because I know when I save receipts, because I like when I go places for the first time, when I take trips, I like to save the receipts as souvenirs showing that I spent money in this place, like when I went to Puerto Rico or whatever, or I go to any other place. I would save the receipts, and after a certain period of time, the receipts look faded. They start turning colors. You can't even read them. So how is it that something that happened decades ago, you still able to keep the receipts? I mean, or you had some other kind of record, because, I mean, I know decades ago we didn't have the technology we have now, so I don't know what you was keeping on. I mean, granted, if you had money, you have access to better equipment and whatever. So, maybe it's something I don't know, but I don't understand that. That doesn't even make sense to me. They have receipts from decades ago. Who holds on to all that stuff anyway? Who holds on to all that? I don't understand. So they held on to all this for one day to say, you know what, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. And when I get him, I'm gonna get him good. I mean, I can't see you holding on to receipts that long for any other reason but that. And I wonder, where did they get these videos from? If they did look at videos, or they did make their decisions off of videos, where did they get the videos from? Who leaked the videos and things like that? But why? Oh yeah, the parents, they didn't get charged because they was able to testify, right? That's a nice sweet deal. You come out, you get on this podium, and you tell everything so we can get this conviction. Because we get this high profile conviction, it's going to boost our careers. Because at the end of the day, that's all prosecutors care about. They don't give a damn. They'll talk about justice, but they don't give a damn about justice. All they care about is winning. All they care about is getting convictions. And they don't care how they get the convictions, especially DAs. They don't care how they get the convictions at all. They want the convictions because they're looking to excel their career. They're looking to move on to being a judge, or some kind of higher rank in the political realm. That's what they're looking for. Who cares if it's at somebody else's expense? Just food for thought. Anyway, if you're new, like, share, subscribe. Tell somebody. And if you like my content, look at my old videos, like those, share those videos. Help a brother out. And with that, I'll leave you. Peace. Good night.